So, as I suggested in a recent video, I was going to do a Hitman Roulette, and here's what I've drawn. We're doing the showstopper. We're going to start undercover at the Iago auction. We're going to kill Viktor Novikov with a letter opener, kill Dalia with a hatchet, and we're going to exit via the kitchen, and we're never going to change into a disguise. So, let's get cracking. So I started this route by getting rid of the bodyguard in Dalia's room. It's not essential to do it now, but I found it worked better with the timing, in that the later parts of the route benefited by just taking this little breather to begin with and getting rid of this bodyguard. So I've shot the tap, the sink's overflowing, he's going to be in here any second. So that's one problem out of the way already. Now, what I found the trickiest part of planning this route was who to go for first. With the letter opener, the one I'm most aware of is on the next floor down, which is the one I go for. But the hatchet, I'll be honest, I hadn't got a clue where the hatchet was. I hadn't come across it just during gameplay. So I did have to roam around to find one. There was one by the shed, which I thought was just a little bit tricky to get considering there are guards there. And there was one on the opposite side of the palace gardens, so that's the one I've gone for. Whichever way you approach it, you are having to go into a trespassing area in your suit, so it does really rely on stealth there's no two ways about it. So I really was intrigued by this challenge, I must admit. When I mentioned before about timing, the guard in this hallway, he'd just gone the other way, so you can easily just walk past him. The two security guards that patrol this circular area, they've gone past. So the timing, once you just take that little breather, is excellent. It gives you time to get the letter opener without having to stop along the way to let a guard pass. If any of you have seen my videos for the lupi sensitivity, you'll know I love it when you get a melee weapon and it's got a nice sound when you pull it out and then hide it again. I had to do it just now with the letter opener, it got a brilliant sound. Anyway, I'm taking out this crew member, partly for convenience sake, but also I'm worried he might get drawn by a distraction that I'm going to set up for Novikov. I'm going to take the fire extinguisher down here for the end of the mission, and I'm also going to set up Novikov's distraction, which is mixtape 47. Right now, Novikov is just getting ready to talk to Sato. To be honest, I say talking, it's more like he goes to berate him. So I've got plenty of time to set all this up. I misplaced the mixtape when I first did it. In reality, it is better just placing it a little higher so he can hear it. But after that, I've just got a little bit of waiting here where, as I said, Novikov's at the bottom of the room and he's just going to make his way up. Once he's nearby, I'll use the coin to turn on the diorama, and that way I've got easy access to Novikov's bodyguard, who in this sort of strategy is a pain. That way I can just subdue the bodyguard and I can get to Novikov on his own. So to save me gabbing on about nothing, I'm going to skip about 50 seconds of footage just until Novikov's in position. So now he's in position, I'm going to put the coin in the diorama and that draws him over here, and the bodyguard, for reasons that only the game developers can explain, decides to take a step back, allow Viktor to view the diorama, and it just creates a little bit of distance between the two that the player can take advantage of. So Viktor's going to go through the door on the left, and his bodyguard will follow a little further behind than he usually does. Once Viktor's through the door, we're just going to subdue the bodyguard. It's best to take it nice and easy during this section, only because if you rush, an NPC in the makeup area might see you and you don't get caught doing this bit. But as you see, nice and easy, and you've got a crate ready for hiding him in. Now he's hidden away, we go back into the stairwell we've just been in, and we're going to wait for Viktor to pass by. That takes about 10-20 seconds, just depending how fast or slow he's going. Once he passes the NPC on the corner, just there, we're going to activate the mixtape and he'll be the nearest person to it, and therefore he'll be the one to investigate it. So we just go wait while he's checking his phone or whatever he's doing there, and he should turn around. There we go. And as you see, once he's past that NPC I mentioned, I activate the mixtape and down he comes. As soon as he passes your line of sight, pull out the letter opener and throw it at his head. Don't try and stab him with it, otherwise you can risk your silent assassin rating. I would like to say at this point that you don't have to hide his body, but I have had previous with this where I'm not so lucky. I did this run exactly as I've done it here, but for some reason a security guard wandered into this area and found me. Now, the body wasn't there because I'd already hidden Novikov's body, but because I was in a trespassing area, it failed the mission. So just be careful. Sometimes NPCs do weird things that you can't account for. Now we're on to the hatchet, and if I could, I would have loved to have been dealing with this instead of waiting for Viktor. I know that there's going to be some clever Hitman player out there who can do both objectives in half the time I did, probably by cutting out that little bit, but I just don't know how to manipulate objects like that. So for example, I know some people could probably get the hatchet to fly up to the attic level and work from there. Me, I have to go the long way. In a way I prefer that because it does feel more like a stealth game by doing that. You've got to wait for guards to pass by, you've got to find ways to get guards to move in a different direction, but on the other hand, if you are looking for a good speedy or visually entertaining run, you don't want to be having scenes like this where I'm literally just waiting for two guards to move. So unfortunately I can't do much about this until they actually decide to get a move on. So I've got a rubber duck on me as well as the mixtape 47, and when these two guards pass by we're going to move right around the area they're walking in, and we're going to drop the duck anywhere in that general area where they were waiting, just to create an explosion as a distraction. The main aim of this distraction is to move two guards out of position who otherwise would just stand there and be really difficult to sneak past. So it's a handy little distraction. So I've dropped the duck, I'm going to detonate it here, and those two guards you can see right there are the ones that I want to move. So they do take the time considering the explosion's just gone on, but they eventually go around the area and I can just sneak right past them. Once they've moved past, just sneak around. On the left is the logistics trailer, which is handy if you've got anything that you want to bring in. I didn't bring anything, but as I say, it is handy just in case you want to bring an added item in just to make things more convenient. As you can see, I'm just running a straight line pretty much. I've crouched a little bit just to avoid attention, but you could run it if you wanted to take the risk. The hatchet's right here, and to be honest, we haven't got many obstacles to get it upstairs. The first one is this security guard here. I didn't try the generator on the left. Now that might be a quicker way to get him moving. On the other hand, maybe not. But what I do know for certain is every time I've tried this method it works, which is just to wait for him to move to his second position, which is pretty much looking directly at us. But when he turns to go back to his first position, you can just run for it. He doesn't turn around quick enough and you've got plenty of time to make it to cover. As soon as you can see that he's turning, even just that little head turn, that's like a little signal, start getting ready to move and move. You've got to use the cover here and get to the pipe there. It's not a long distance, but if you take your time or get caught up in the wrong bit of cover, you can get spotted with an illegal item, game over. So just be careful where you use your cover. From here it's relatively simple. You've just got to shimmy along, don't do what I did there, and just make it through the window. Once you jump through the window, there can be a tech guy there, but with the timing I've got, he's busy somewhere else, so we can make it through into this room quite easily. There's a security guard in here, and you do have to take his movement into account. At this point he's looking directly where I want to run. I'll go and pick up the bus, but I don't really use it, but I'm just killing time while he's moving around. So once he's looking there, we're free to go through the door. I take the route to the right just because it's less obstacles to bypass. Pick up the coins, you can if you want. Again, I was just picking everything up I could see, and just make your way up the stairs to the attic. On a personal level, I do find getting through the attic with speed tricky. I've not really picked up any useful ways of getting through there at a speed. I've been able to use distractions in this area to interrupt their conversation, which does speed things up a little bit. It's the next area that always slows me down though, because I have to find a way to get the two guards who are talking about the light rig to either stop talking or interrupt their conversation, or just get them to move in another direction entirely. If I wasn't not wanting to use explosives because I'd be worried about people finding bodies they shouldn't be finding, I would use that. But I'm aware of that guy on the stairwell, the tech guy who I knocked out earlier, and I just don't want any bodies being discovered, including that guy who I've just knocked out. So you have to just be as patient as you can, and it does slow things down, because with here, for example, I'll throw the hatchet, that draws one of them away, but for some reason the other one is just happy to try and recommence the conversation. So it just doesn't really speed things up, it just interrupts things and slows it down. In this instance I do use a coin. I think to myself, if one guard is going in one direction, maybe I can get the other to go in another direction, that way they can't start talking straight away at least. With these issues it all comes down to time. I'm aware that I came into the attic at 9:52 on the clock, and as I'm speaking we're in the 12th minute, so it's taking time to just get past a small number of guards. The bottom line is I've just got to try and find a way of speeding my tactics up when it comes to this area of Paris. I'm that used to the map now, but I've got to find a way of getting through this area no matter what my loadout is, and it's not impossible, but it's just maybe working out head turns more accurately, or working out how to manoeuvre guards a little bit faster. It's small things, but what I am going to have to practice, otherwise I just don't think I'd find these videos visually stimulating, let alone audiences that I would like to watch them. Now that brief delay's over, I'm already on my way to Dalia's room. The guards are all looking away, so it's a nice clean run to the balcony now. So it's actually not difficult getting Dalia in from here, it's more a case of waiting for her, because it all depends how fast you are getting there and at what stage of a route around the top floor she's on. So if I remember right, she's just heading out to the right hand section where the little drinks area is. Yep, there we go. So it's all about waiting for her, and again, there's nothing fun about waiting, so what I'll do is I'll just skip the 30 seconds to a minute that she's just dawdling over there, and then I'll be back. Once Dalia's through the door, she'll hear the overflowing sink and come in to deal with it. Once the door shuts so that the personal assistant she's with can't see, sneak up behind her and use the hatchet on her. It's a nice, easy elimination. Now all we've got to do is hide a body and make for the exit. Hiding the body's the easy bit. Making to the exit, that isn't difficult, so no problems here. Just jump over there and we'll head back into the attic, and just take a quick left turn and we're back on the staircase. Considering this is the first go ahead on the roulette, this was actually a very good one, because I'd hoped for something that'd be suit only, so again I got what I wanted there. But also it was challenging just with the idea of using 2 illegal items for kills. I couldn't use poison, for example, which would have been easier. So yeah, I'm glad that I got this. It was a nice fun challenge. I'm hoping some other players will have a go of it, see if you can beat my time, because as much as I like trying these things, it's not as fun if you can't see someone trying to better it. So if any of you fancy a go, by all means, you've got the criteria, go ahead and try and beat me time. Use the fire extinguisher and we're on our way out. All that's left to add is, if you enjoyed this video, please leave us a like, consider subscribing to my channel for updates on new videos, and thank you for watching. This is Josh, see you next time, bye.